Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video, and in this video we're going to finally be beating the Giant Form Suit Battle Road completely free to play. Now there's a couple of things that made the free to play run of Giant Form possible. The first of those is Int Piccolo, and honestly speaking you probably could just do this with just Int Piccolo at this point. He's pretty nutty. Yeah, we'll talk about him just now, but the two units that are in question are Int Piccolo and Tech LR Hatchiak. Tech LR Hatchiak obviously being a free-to-play unit that you can obtain from the Battlefield shop. Now, Hatchiak, Piccolo, both really good. I think Piccolo, obviously one of the more dominant units in the game, an incredibly powerful unit who's also a Giant Form category lead, which I think was very smart of them. And yeah, Int Piccolo is obviously by far and large the hard carry of the run, but having Tech LR Hatchiak in the other rotation helps out quite a bit. Firstly, he can do decent damage in his Giant Form, you'll see that just now. And secondly, as well, the crucial component is stats and leader skill. With Hatchiak we have 130% Giant Form lead, which obviously helps out big time. And also he brings LR based stats, which helps out a lot with health and things like that. So let's talk about Piccolo, because Piccolo is obviously super duper clutch when it comes to this. Not only is it his leader skill, but also the fact that he's just huge. He's got that active skill that's super easy for us to activate, allowing him to essentially just cause big damage to the opposition, interrupt their attacks. We have his Giant Form that you can utilize as well when he's below 60% health, although we never do. And then it's just his raw damage. Like in his base form, most times Giant Form units are not necessarily the greatest in their base form. A lot of the time the game overcompensates for the strength of a unit's Giant Form. But lately they've changed that. Tech Piccolo LR, the Int Piccolo Jr. Maybe it's just for Piccolo, but either they really like his Giant Form, or they starting to realize that the Giant Form isn't as powerful as they believe it to be. A lot of the times the big benefit of the Giant Form is getting chip damage whilst you are invulnerable. A lot of the times you don't generally net out and finish off units when you are in Giant Form. An example here is with Hatchiak. It's great. His Giant Form damage is actually pretty good for a Giant Form. It's actually really solid, and him being available actually helps out a lot because he's able to always kind of remove the AGL enemy, which is really good. Now Int Piccolo is a bit different. He just does huge damage. Even with the lower lead on our side, with no support, with no real links, with nothing really going on, he usually takes out 2 or more characters. He's got that high chance of launching additional super attacks. He's got that extra 101% attack and defense for the first 5 turns. He's got so many stacking buffs that it's just ridiculous. Realistically speaking, he debuffs all the enemies as well, minus 30% attack and defense as a first attacker, which is also something that's quite crucial to our performance overall. Like, it's also something that's really big, because that's something that is effective in SBR and ESBR. That ability to debuff the opposition is a really useful tool that allows us to kind of benefit, I want to say, from debuffing the opposition, and just gives us a little bit more of a foundation upon which to work off of, and I think it's really good. So that's obviously Int Piccolo. I think he's great. I think he's really solid. And yeah, I do think he's really useful. I think he's, he carries the run, obviously. Like I said, I think you could possibly consider even doing this with just one Int Piccolo. As in, like, you maybe didn't even need Hatchiak. I think it would have been a bit of a close call, but I think you could have done it, at least overall. Now, obviously, to talk a bit about Hatchiak, because I do think he helps out greatly. He's from the Battlefield shop, so he is a bit expensive, and I can understand that maybe turns off some players, but he actually does seem like he could be very good, especially when you get a couple dupes in him. He's got that damage reduction, he's got additional damage reduction when he's facing pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans, which is a lot of the game. He's got that additional, like ease to use giant form. Like you can auto activate it when facing pure or hybrid Saiyans, or when your HP is 80% or less from the 5th turn of battle, which is also a fairly easy transformation condition. In his giant form, he's also pretty good. It's just a very simple unit. Yeah, he's got Ki +3, he makes Tech Ki Spheres. That's really it. He's just really solid. As you can see, we've used him twice to just kind of remove that AGL threat, immediately get rid of them and just kind of control the fight, which does help. I think, you know, it'd be silly to say it doesn't help. I think overall, Hachiak's an incredibly solid unit. And yeah, obviously, you know, into Piccolo carries. You know, there's no denying that. But to have a really solid unit like Hachiak in the second rotation, you know, makes the run very secure. Like very, very secure. The other two free-to-play units, you know, the AGL Bardock, the Int Vegeta, Giant Ape, they're okay. You know, they're not anything spectacular, honestly, and they do so little on the run that you could, in theory, probably not have them. Although it does help because they do help with stats for the team, you know, health and things like that. So that is something to evaluate, or at least, you know, assess. And I think that's also probably something to consider when you are building the team. You do probably want them, if not anything, then just for the health. Like just for the additional health, it's probably well worth it. And yeah, I think maybe you want to consider that. But yeah, outside of that, I don't think there's anything too major. Overall, it's pretty cool to be able to do giant form free to play finally. I think, yeah, at the end of the day, it is pretty cool. And I think, you know, for the most part, it's good to finally tick it off the list. Next to Shadow Dragons, of course. But yeah, I think pretty cool stuff. And yeah, if you do have any queries, you can let me know. Yeah, if you're looking for stones, here you go. It's an easy way to get some, I guess. But yeah, overall, just a nice, fun run to do, and really cool to see in Piccolo ball out. Bye.